The old guard WNBA is at it again. Players, old guard fans, old guard WNBA media continually trying to push the same false narrative with lies about Caitlin Clark fans, with lies about the things her fans do and say. We've seen this time and time again without consequence, Kathy Engelbert. In fact, not only is there not a consequence, it is the Fever fans that get investigated even when they don't do anything wrong, which of course is absolutely absurd. So here we are again. This one started with Chelsea Gray, who put out a screenshot of a nasty message she received. And look, it was a nasty message. It's got the N word, basically told her she sucked after the Indiana Fever game and called her the N word. But then she, I think, limited or closed replies when her insinuation of who said this turned out to be a lie because people investigate these things. Not journalists, the media doesn't, but other people do. Speaking of media, we got this from Callie Finn, works for USA Today Sports. Chelsea Gray shares racial abuse she received following the Aces Sunday night loss to the Indiana Fever. This comes after Alyssa Thomas also spoke out about the issue. So we've got a couple of things going on here. But first, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your support. Quick favor, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you like the video. It helps out tremendously. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you're still subscribed if you have. Comment down below about this video as well. All right, so let's dig into this. We've got a couple of things here that Callie said. If you read this message, what are you going to think? You're going to think a Caitlin Clark fan sent a racial message, racially charged, a slur, however you want to say it, to Chelsea Gray. Although I don't know why, because the Fever absolutely crushed the Aces. And so you've got two things here. And Callie Finn, here's the problem. Callie Finn did zero research, which makes her terrible at her job, or she didn't want to because she wants to further a narrative, even if it's false, which makes her terrible at her job. Because you read that first sentence, the assumption being that it must have been an Indiana Fever fan because hey, it was after the Indiana Fever game, and then she ties it in, right? Draws that connection even closer by then mentioning the Alyssa Thomas situation, which we all know was connected to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever after Alyssa Thomas physically assaulted Caitlin Clark on the court. So if you are looking at this, it is just, I mean, unless you're an intelligent Caitlin Clark fan, your natural assumption, what's going to get into your brain, even if you don't think too much about it, is, oh, those Caitlin Clark fans are at it again. We all know that they're racist anyway, so this makes perfect sense. And you're going to go on with your life. Maybe you're going to retweet it or whatever because you're part of that as well. But you see, Caitlin Clark fans did their research. Now, this guy nuked his account, probably a smart decision, but people got screenshots and all of that. And as it turns out, among other things, he's a Paige Beckers fan, and he's a bettor. So one thing we know for sure when it comes to sports nowadays is there are a lot of people involved that aren't actually sports fans. They're sports bettors. And you can bet on pretty much anything nowadays, even in game, right? So bettors betting a lot of money and someone costs them that money by missing an open three or bricking a layup or fumbling on their way to a touchdown, whatever it might be, or finishing with 99 yards when 100 yards would have got the better a big payday, especially if it's one of those people who takes a knee at the 2 yard line when they could have scored, so their team can run out the clock. And yeah, they send nasty messages. So we got a few things. We got that culture in all sports now, right? Social media obviously adds to it. A lot of people are absolute idiots. Social media saying things they would never say in real life. So then we've got the fact that this happens with NBA players 100x, but you just don't hear about it because they don't have the same victim mentality, but also they're not chronically online and up in their fields the way WNBA players are. right? You don't have an NBA media that constantly wants to pound this narrative that one specific fan base is racist. But you do have that in the WNBA. So Callie here putting this out is it's disgusting. It really is what it is, and it's irresponsible as well because you're just creating a whole lot of nastiness, a lot of divisiveness. And let me say another thing while we're here, since this is a Paige Beckers fan, WNBA media. Let me try that again. I was going to say I'm sure, then I was going to say I assume, and I kind of got stuck in the middle. But I'm guessing maybe that you're going to ask Paige Beckers about this. You're going to say, hey, Paige, maybe you should be speaking out about all of your racist fans. Maybe you should be denouncing all of your racist fans. How dare you stand by and do nothing when your fans are sending these kinds of racially charged messages to other players in the WNBA? There's no excuse for that. It is truly revolting. It is disgusting. And you need to be better by speaking out against these people all of the time, right? Am I doing this right? Isn't that how it works? I'm pretty sure that is how it works. At least that's how it works when it's Caitlin Clark. It doesn't seem like that's how it works when it's anybody else. Kathy Engelbert, are you going to weigh in on this? Anyone? Bueller? And as bad as social media is, thank God we have it because we get pushback. Otherwise, all you would get would be people like Callie Finn reporting on it, right? Chelsea Gray receives a message. It could have been an email, right? If there's no social media, and puts out that she received this email, and then people like Callie Finn report like this, and it just goes around without pushback that it was a Caitlin Clark fan because there's no research, there's no social media page of the poster to go to, which fans have done. Like this one says, good thing this guy has nothing to do with Fever fans or Caitlin Clark. I bet he missed on his parlay because of her and got into his feelings. Plenty of losers talk like this, and even worse to other professional athletes. Sports gambling is doing real damage. That is 100% true. Here we go again with another idiot spreading misinformation and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, this is the kind of crap reporting that we sadly get with the WNBA. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And this, I think, I know you could say it's kind of a separate issue, but I think this is kind of one of the reasons Congress is looking at this like, hey, what is going on? Because all of this is about one player, blame on one player, the media not doing their job. This is fake news. And in Callie's case, I would say it's deliberate because you're a journalist. You don't go to the page of the person who sent the message or made the post and just get an idea of who they are. No, you just try and let everyone assume based on how you worded your post that it is a Caitlin Clark fan. It's disgusting. As this poster said, you're going to get people hurt with this kind of divisiveness because you're a lot of mentally unhinged, mentally unstable people out there, and they constantly see this stuff. And you see all the stuff that goes on out there because you probably see social media, whether it's the knockout game or whatever. One of these unhinged, crazy losers is going to be walking down the street or in a store and see somebody in a Caitlin Clark jersey and physically attack them because that's how mentally unhinged a lot of people are. You've got them all ginned up about how these are awful people. These are evil people. So they're not even really human. So, of course, that justifies them getting physically assaulted and physically attacked when they're out in public. That person's a hero for attacking them. That's the kind of thinking that people like Callie are leading to with their type of reporting like this. It's disgusting. It's repulsive. It needs to stop. And I am so tired of it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. I will talk to you later.